Now, with this guy, the game. Okay. This guy, I have been a fan of him as a rapper for a while. Not of his recent stuff, but when he first was on the scene, his first couple of albums, he's always a very good rapper to me. But I think his decision making is not the best. Not only isn't in women, but his decisions to not take L's when L's are being given. These guys think that because they have money that they can fight these cases and win them. Even Drake had a issue where a woman accused him of something. He ended up paying that woman off. Drake ended up paying that woman off, and you never heard anything about it because Drake acknowledged his L in what he was accused of, and then it was, then it went away. No one talked about it. Well, the game but he had a situation that could have went the same way. The same thing with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had a situation where he could have paid off this particular female, and he refused to do it, not acknowledging that something might have happened. I said might because only him and her know, even though they're saying that his cousin was a witness to something. But be doesn't matter. The game continues to try to fight this, and he continues to lose. He continues to go back and forth to court to get an extension or to get the case thrown out or to get reviewed. And they keep saying, game, no, we are not reviewing this. You lost. Pay her her money. As a matter of fact, they're going after his royalties. So they're going after his royalty checks. Now, y'all got to understand, this guy still has kids he has to take care of. I believe he has homes and property, bills. But instead of him saying, you know what, man, let me just go ahead and figure out. Because I believe he tried to do something financially with her before and it didn't work out. Because he was like, I'm not paying her anything. Now it's ballooned to the point to where their season is money. And once the government gets a hold on your money, it's going to be very difficult for them to take their hands off of it, which is why I feel like the game is one of these guys. He's one of these males who refuses to take L's. Listen, I've taken financial L's. Okay. There's things that I may have overspent or, went and tried to put money into something that didn't work out. You acknowledge it and move on. You learn from it. I've taken L's when it comes to females, very early. But I learned from those mistakes, you have to really learn humans and understand human behavior. As much as we want to give people a pass, as much as we want to trust people, there are going to be situations, okay, where they disappoint us, but we have to learn from that disappointment. We have to learn that all people are not created equal, and we have to be very mindful of who we deal with. We have to be very mindful of the type of individuals that we come across. We definitely do. We definitely have to understand who we're dealing with. And the game tried to sue Viacom because he had initially lost the case and he knew he was going to have to pay. So he thought that by them paying him, he would be able to pay this off at that particular moment. But when that fell through and he lost that case, again, that's another L that he refused to take, He's in a situation where there's no way out of this except for to pay her. There's no way of getting over this. He refused to show up. He refused to really be invested in trying to get this thing pushed, out of the forefront. But something happened on that particular situation between them two, And I think that a lot of young males have to understand, young men, you have to understand that taking L's is a part of life. But when you take a massive L like he did as far as losing this case and continuing to lose it over and over, and you don't learn from it, you're going to cost yourself more money. You're going to be tapping out your resources that are supposed to go to your kids, all because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you did something to this female. And the thing is that initially she said she just wanted an apology, which, I mean, come on, man. She wanted money too. But she really wanted that apology. And I think the game was like, I'm not apologizing. Okay, that's fine. But you're going to financially have to do something, or the government is going to continue to take from you, game. Now, I don't know if he has money set aside. He probably does. But they're going to find that money, game, because, R. Kelly was apparently hiding money and they found it. Or they found somebody that may have been hiding money for him, So y'all, some of these guys may think you're clever, but I mean, the government, they have access to all types of bank databases, and they can get this information. And what I want to know is this. When it comes to women making, claims against these guys, why is it that they go straight for the money and they never go for filing any, other activity filing against them as far as, criminal activity? Why is it always they go straight for the money? You know why? It's because these women are broken. These are broken women who've gone through a lot, and they would rather be financially compensated instead of, taking them to court and possibly having them incarcerated. They care more about getting that bag. That bag is way more important. And it just shows you, man, there are women who are so far gone that they're willing to overlook what you have done to them as long as you pay them. You can look at the some of these lawsuits that y'all seeing. These guys out here getting Me Too'd and getting sued. Like James Franco. James Franco is being sued, because of the type of, activity that was going on at his acting school. These guys are getting sued. They're not being, they're not being criminally, no charges are being, pursued against them for any criminal activity. It's all about the money. And that's why these women get the side eye. Not only do they get the side eye from men, they get the side eye from women, because there were women who came to the game's defense. Lisa Ray was one of those women that came to the game's defense. There were other women as well who laughed when he made fun of her, said that she looked like a guy, who said she was a dude, who constantly made fun of her on social media, basically ran her off Instagram. I don't know if she's on Instagram now, but when I went and looked her up last year, I believe, last year, she wasn't on there. Might have been earlier this year. She wasn't on there. There was a lot of women who were side-eyeing her too, who thought that she was in it for the money. Now, I saw a couple of episodes of that TV show where this, around the time period where this happened. And she was very aggressive about getting his attention. She was. I'm not saying that this is her fault. What I'm saying is this. If you are one of these females who are thirsty for these guys' attention, they're going to test you. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm telling you this. They're going to test you. They're going to test you to see how thirsty you really are. And it just seemed to me that when it came down to it, she wasn't with it. And from my understanding, when this situation happened, the game was drunk. The game forgot that he was filming a show. In that particular situation, he forgot he was filming a show. Must have been, and something went down. Now, let me just say this about the game. Bro, if you are innocent, you're not going to dodge court. You're not going to play this off as if it's a joke. You're going to take this very seriously. When you are accused of something like what the game is being accused of, you're not gonna tread like lightly. You're not gonna not tread lightly. You're not going to take it lightly. This is a very serious situation. I know the game can come off as goofy. That's one of my problems with the game. The game can be very goofy. He can be a very goofy guy. Okay. Sometimes too goofy. And if he would have just taken the situation a little bit more seriously, he might not have lost the initial lawsuit. But the fact that you refuse to go to court, the fact that you refuse to go there and profess your innocence and really fight this is why you lost, why you took that L, which is why you refuse to acknowledge it. Now they're going after your earnings. There's no going back now. There's no going back, game. You're going to have to give her something. Well, not something. You got to give her that $7 million. You're going to have to cough up $7 million, bro. Where is it at? They want that money. They want it now. That's why they're seizing assets. That's why they're going after your royalties. They want that money. They're like, gang, give it up. You lost. It's over. Take the L and move on, bro. It's a wrap. There's no holding it off. There's no more court proceedings. We want that money now. You're gonna write us a check. Is it gonna be cash? Is it gonna be like a cashier's check, or you got debit card? Like, how are you gonna pay for this? You got what I'm saying? You got some cars you want to trade in or sell some property. We need that money, and we want it now. So whatever we got to go and get, we're gonna go and get. Next thing you know, these guys will go after the tour money. Do not let it get to the point to where the government is coming after you, man. Money order. But they want that money, game, and they're coming after you, bro. I think he knows that now. That's why he's trying to work on this album. And he says this is going to be the last album he does because they're coming after his royalties. So they're probably going to come after the royalties on this album too. You guys got to be careful, man. I don't care how big of an ego you think you got. The government has a bigger ego, and they will make an example out of you. They will make an example out of you. And they're going to make an example out of the game. They don't care that you're a rapper. They don't. That's why they're methodically taking everything around you, bro. Going after the royalties, going after your assets. Because they want their money. The government is involved, and that's who you do not want involved in this situation. That's who you don't want involved. But because of his ego, he refuses to take this L, and he refuses to say, you know what, I messed up. I should have fought this harder if I'm innocent. But if he did do something, and I'm saying allegedly, then bro, you got to own up to it, man. Just do what Drake did. Pay off the chick and keep it moving. But either way, the government's going to get theirs.